Greetings and salutations, friends. I am Numythrandor, and today we begin our adventure through the dark fantasy video game series Dark Souls, as well, mind you, as a number of other games created by From Software. Now, I will open by saying that I have played Dark Souls 1 numerous times before. However, it's been some years since I've actually played these games. This one in particular I have not played in a good long while. Therefore, I will not be doing a speed run. Rather, I'll be taking my time and working my way through. And as I do, it's my intention to go over my thoughts on some of the stories and characters we come across. You could consider this a sort of impromptu lore series of a kind. But, well, I need to collect all of the lore once again on this save file, so well, it'll be a while before you get my full thoughts on a lot of these things. That's part of the fun, though. At least, I hope so. So now, let us begin. Yes, I took the liberty of creating a character ahead of time, because I figured no one would want to watch me fiddling with sliders for several bloody minutes. After all, this game was a little lacking when it came to character creation.
The world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arched trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire. And with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bullets peeled apart their stone skins. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease, and Seath the Scaleless betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more. Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers. And man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark side. Yes, indeed. The dark sign brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world. This is your fate.
And so now we find ourselves in the undead asylum. Trapped here. For all eternity, or so those who put us here thought. And they would have been right, were it not for our gallant friend, who decided to push a corpse into our cell with us. Now, personally, I think I'd be a bit miffed with anybody who decided to drop a corpse in on me. But I think in this case they can be forgiven, considering that the corpse possessed the key to my cell. Though admittedly, one could ask why he didn't simply drop the key alone down here, and why he felt the corpse was necessary. I suppose an argument could be made that he thought the smell would be enough to get me going. But, well, considering how we look under this mask, one has to wonder whether we could smell anything at all anymore, and whether we'd even want to. Regardless, now we make our exit. We have our poor souls, the Hollows. Alas, for these fellows, they were not so fortunate as we. Unlike us, they've been here for far too long, and have no hope of escaping anymore. They don't even have the mind to conceive of escape anymore. Such is the hollowing. And for anyone who doubts whether you would go hollow in a place like this, look no further than right there. Just imagine having to fight that thing, just for a slim chance of getting out of here. Yeah, I think that'd be more than enough to convince most of us that life really just isn't worth living. But, well, I'm not most of us, am I? So, onward and upward we go. But of course, I also do have the advantage of knowing that we don't have to contend with that bastard just yet. No, we're in for a run-in with his little brother. But first, our first bonfire. Good old taste of nostalgia that was, but now for our first big fight. Or it would be, except I'm not doing a challenge run. No, just running in general. As there is no reason for me to fight that right out of the gate. And we had a fellow with a Dark Knight halberd running by. Must be coming in from far later on. Just a hint, a little nod to the fact that there are far bigger and better things ahead of us. And backstab you go. For all of 6 damage. Perhaps attacking him wasn't the best idea, while I still had a broken weapon in hand. Alright, let's try this again, now that I have a proper weapon. Yes, that's much better. And our first kill. Mind you, that certainly didn't go quite how I planned it. And now we're in for a trap. Yep. Fortunately, a very easily evaded trap. And we'll be back to deal with you, little bastard, in a moment, but first, we have to look into one of our first tragedies.
Oh, you. You're no hollow. Thank goodness. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I, we're both undead. Hear me out, will you?
I owe you that much, at least. After all, if you hadn't dropped in the key, I'd still be trapped in that cell. It really is a pity that I can't do more for you.
Regrettably, I have failed in my mission. But perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family. Thou who art undead art chosen. And thine exodus from the undead asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know. And I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask. An undead favorite.
Thank you kindly, good sir.
Oh, and this.
And thank you again.
Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now, and thank you.
Yes, thank you indeed. Alas, there is nothing I can do for you. And so he ends. And his final mortal act was to bring us our salvation. Such a pity that we couldn't do more. Now, to act a bit of vengeance in another way. Now then, come to me. I have no interest in being shot by your friend back there. So you can come to me. Come on. There we go. Now only one remains. Well, I say one, but there is still one more should be dealt with. And down you go. Normally I would bemoan only having a knife, especially a pitted and rusted old thing like this. But it does a splendid job when it comes to backstabbing. Nay, it's this next bit that's going to be a problem for me. After all, you can't backstab this thing. Though, you can stab it in the face. And so that I will do. Ooh, bleed for the win. It's a wonder he doesn't break the floor. Especially considering how weak the Foundation turns out later, but that is for another day, and he just likes to keep flying, apparently. Not that I mind, it makes this a hell of a lot easier. There we go, our first major kill. Victory achieved. And without taking a single hit, no less. Yep, and there's the souls, all 2,000 of them. And now we can make our full, proper escape from this place. What a cloudy and stormy day we chose to make our exit. And then we have these. Oh.
You, give me warm, give me soft.
I'm afraid we don't actually have anything warm or soft for you. Not yet, anyway. The most interesting item we possess is this old witch's ring. Old ring from an old witch, engraved minutely with indecipherable script, but seemingly useless. Well, any of you who knows this game knows exactly why I chose to keep this as my gift. But for those who are not familiar, I'll simply leave it as a little mystery to be figured out later. But alas, for now, I have nothing for the crows. But we are only just beginning, after all. Now, one would be reasonably curious at this point as to how the devil we were actually planning on leaving this place, considering that we're walking up to apparently a dead end, an endless drop off a mountain by the looks of it. Well, they thought of that. And who they is, I'll leave up to your imagination.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran
Ah, Firelink Shrine. I am home again. And now that we're home, I'm afraid I have to bid you adieu. So ends the first episode of our adventures into Lortron. And I bid you a good day. Okay, so that concludes the first episode of our series, exploring the world of Dark Souls. As a brief recap, we have made it all the way through the Undead Asylum. During our next episode, we'll be heading through the Undead Burg. I haven't quite got the schedule down just yet, so for the moment, I can only promise one episode a week, but I will be making an effort to post more regularly to this channel. So, until I see you again, have a good day.